What if the biggest nutritional experiment in human history is happening right now? For hundreds of thousands of years, humans survived on foods they hunted, gathered, fermented, and cooked. Then, in just a few generations, we shifted toward ultra-processed products engineered for convenience, shelf life, and taste. The question isn't whether these foods are different. The question is, are we eating against our evolution? Today, we'll explore what human beings ate for most of our existence, what changed during the modern food revolution, and whether our bodies are struggling to keep up. For roughly 95% of human history, our ancestors lived as hunter-gatherers. Their diets varied dramatically depending on geography and season, but they shared some common features. What they generally ate: 1. Whole foods that were minimally processed. 2. Animal foods such as meat, fish, eggs, and insects. 3. Plant foods including fruits, roots, tubers, nuts, seeds, and leafy vegetation. 4. Fermented foods in many cultures. What they generally did not eat: 1. Refined sugar. 2. Industrial seed oils. 3. Artificial flavorings and additives. 4. Highly refined grains. Human physiology evolved under these conditions. Our brains, muscles, digestive systems, and metabolic pathways were shaped by an environment where calories were often hard-earned and nutrients came packaged in whole foods. Anthropologists studying traditional societies have repeatedly observed populations that maintain strong physical capacity, lower rates of obesity, and different patterns of chronic disease compared with modern industrialized populations. That doesn't mean ancestral diets were perfect or that life expectancy was high. Infections, injuries, and infant mortality were major threats. But it does suggest that the human body is well adapted to diets centered on minimally processed foods. The modern diet changed rapidly. Agriculture appeared about 10,000 years ago, introducing grains and domesticated foods. But the most dramatic shift happened during the last century. Today's food environment includes 1. Refined carbohydrates. 2. Added sugars. 3. Industrial fats. 4. Flavor enhancers. 5. Preservatives. 6. Highly processed snacks and ready-to-eat meals. Ultra-processed foods are not simply foods with ingredients added. They are products manufactured through multiple industrial processes and often contain substances rarely found in a home kitchen. These products are designed to be hyper-palatable, meaning they combine sugar, fat, salt, and flavor in ways that strongly stimulate appetite and reward systems in the brain. The result? For many people, eating has become less about satisfying hunger and more about navigating a food environment engineered to encourage overconsumption. One of the strongest pieces of evidence comes from controlled feeding studies. In a widely discussed experiment, participants were given either ultra-processed diets or minimally processed diets, while researchers controlled the food provided. The surprising result was that people eating the ultra-processed diet consumed significantly more calories and gained weight, even when the meals were matched for factors like protein, fat, carbohydrates, and fiber as closely as possible. This suggests that processing itself may influence eating behavior. Researchers have proposed several mechanisms why ultra-processed foods may drive overeating. 1. They are often eaten faster. 2. They require less chewing. 3. They may provide weaker satiety signals. 4. They are designed to maximize palatability. Large observational studies have also linked high consumption of ultra-processed foods with increased risk of obesity, type 2 diabetes, cardiovascular disease, and other chronic health problems. While observational research cannot prove causation, the consistency of these associations across many populations has raised significant concern among public health researchers. Scientists often use the term evolutionary mismatch to describe situations where traits that evolved in one environment become less useful or even harmful in a very different environment. For most of human history, food was relatively scarce. High-calorie foods were valuable. Physical activity was necessary for survival. Today, food is abundant. Ultra-processed calories are inexpensive and heavily marketed. Many people spend much of the day sitting. Our appetite systems evolved to seek energy-dense foods because, for most of history, that behavior increased the chances of survival. In the modern environment, the same instincts can lead to chronic overconsumption. This doesn't mean our genes are bad. It means the environment changed far faster than human biology could adapt. It's important to avoid romanticizing the past. Ancient people were not universally healthier than modern people. They faced malnutrition, food shortages, infections, and injuries that modern medicine has dramatically reduced. But there is a meaningful distinction between saying ancient diets were perfect and saying modern ultra-processed diets may create problems our bodies did not evolve to handle. Most nutrition experts agree on several broad principles. Broad principles supported across nutrition research. 1. Eat more minimally processed foods. 2. Prioritize adequate protein. 3. Include fruits, vegetables, legumes, nuts, and whole grains. 4. Limit excessive added sugars and highly processed snacks. 5. Maintain regular physical activity. These recommendations happen to overlap surprisingly well with many characteristics of traditional human diets. So, are we eating against our evolution? The evidence suggests that the modern food environment is very different from the one that shaped human biology. Ultra-processed foods are convenient, inexpensive, and appealing, but they may also encourage patterns of eating that our bodies are poorly equipped to regulate. The solution is not to recreate the Stone Age. It's to recognize that despite all our technological progress, the human body still responds remarkably well to the kinds of foods that sustained our ancestors for thousands of generations. Real foods, eaten in reasonable amounts, combined with regular movement and an active lifestyle. If you enjoyed this exploration of food, evolution, and human performance, subscribe for more videos on the history of strength, nutrition, and the science behind what we eat.